Okay, we're recording.
Okay, hello. I'm so excited. Tonight we're going to interview our newest diamond leader, Marissa. We're just going to kind of dive right into it. I want to know when you joined and then a little bit about your journey as far as your promotions and just things that have happened in life along the way.
Okay. Okay. So, my name is Marissa, and I joined in January of 2016, and I'm now a diamond leader. It's so exciting to even say that. Oh my gosh. But starting my journey. So the reason why I joined was because I was an optician and I was in full-time school. Like, I was doing everything by the book. I graduated high school. I got into a 4-year university, and then I ended up getting pregnant when I was 20 years old. And I was never a school person, so I was never at school in high school. And then college, I was wanting to become a psychologist and a nurse, but then I found out that that just didn't really go with my vibe in life. I just didn't like what was going on and what I was learning. So I just was going to school and then doing work at the same time. And then I got pregnant, and it was a rough pregnancy. So when I was 29 weeks, I went into premature labor, and the doctor bedridden me. So I completely had to stop working. And that was the income that was letting us live on our own, because I just got a new car and we had our own apartment. And so my income was just stripped away. And then I had to we were just struggling. So it was just my husband's income that was trying to hold us up. And we ended up losing our house, and I lost my car, and I lost, my income. And honestly, mentality wise, I was just in a rough spot. And during this time, I moved in with my father. So that was really, rough on us. I was a new mom, 3 months old. We moved in, my son was 3 months old when I moved in with my father. And that environment was toxic. My dad wasn't the best person to live with, but that's the only place we had to go at the time. And then I've been watching Crystal, she was a stranger. Crystal's my mentor, and she was a stranger at first. And I watched her for 9 months. Okay. I watched her for 9 months, and I was really weird. I would text her late at night, and I would ask her about the business, and then she would take time to reply to me, and then I would ignore her. I would ignore her for about a week or two, and then I would ask her the same questions again, and then I was just stalking her Instagram. And she, finally my husband was stop being weird and just join her team. So my son was 9 months. My oldest son was 9 months when I joined, and the first year in my business, I really didn't do much. I just kind of, earned a couple $100. I only joined for $300 to $500 a month. And within my first year, I was kind of doing that. And then my second year, it was just my environment, honestly. The environment I was in, I really wasn't giving my all to the business because of just what was going on in my home life. And then my second year, I was you know what? I'm gonna do something about this. I'm gonna really put myself into this business. And then I started promoting, and then it just kind of just went that way. And then I did want to mention, okay, so I know there's going to be times in your business where life just takes over. And last year I ended up having 3 relatives pass away, and one of them including my niece, and she was only 10 months old. So last year was really, really rough, just because grieving, and I haven't been through a loss like that. And so I let it really take a toll on me and my business. And then at the end of 2018, so last year, I was paid as an executive, okay? And my husband wasn't even paid. I didn't even commission qualify him, y'all. But I was earning weekly bonuses, okay? So $99 weekly bonuses, those are amazing. So take advantage of those. But at the end of 2018, I was executive. I was getting paid as an executive. And then January, I was you know what? No excuses in 2019. I'm done feeling sorry for myself. I'm done letting just my emotions take over, because I should have used that to just fuel me, with everything that happened to me last year. I should have just let it fuel me. I'm talking about grieving. I'm talking about I have siblings that are alcoholics that were on the verge of committing suicide. Like, I had 3 siblings like wanting to commit suicide. Like, I'm saying, like, life, like, rough, like, it was rough, you know. And then this year I was just like, you know what, I don't want to live that way. Like, my parents are still struggling. Like, my mom is in school, and like, I'm so proud of her, you know, but she's in school right now and she's still struggling. And then my dad is struggling. And I was like, I don't want to be that way. You know, like, that's literally what fueled me. Like, I did not want to be in sorrow. I did not want to be in stress. And so January, I was like, not going to go to conference as, you know, Ruby. I was like, I'm not going to go to conference as a Ruby. And then in January, I promoted to Emerald, and I was like, whoa, like, I can do this, you know, like, this is insane. I went from executive to a Ruby. And then in February, after conference, I should have promoted, but it's okay. Like, I kept going. And then in March, which was my anniversary of my niece, who is, like, I'm being, like, serious, y'all. Like, you know, I understand that everybody has different lives and life takes over with emotions. And then March, my husband's uncle ended up passing away, and then it was his birthday, and then it was my niece's anniversary of her passing. And so I was like, no, like, I'm gonna make this month like amazing. I'm not gonna, you know, let anything stop me anymore. And then I promoted, and it's so crazy to just like know that no matter like where you come from, I forgot to add into this, but I am your typical, I came from your typical Hispanic, you know, poor family. I have 4 brothers, 4 sisters. My siblings and my parents are still struggling, but I just earned my family a $10,000 bonus, and I'm like, I'm literally making myself a legend in my family, you know. So that's why I want to encourage everybody, like, even though it might be rough, you have to keep going and you have to keep pushing. So yeah, that's my story. I hope, you know, someone takes like inspiration from that. But
cry.
Yeah.
I'm so proud of you. Okay, so obviously everybody wants to know how you did it. So going from executive in December to being a diamond in March obviously takes a huge amount of leadership, which you are an amazing leader, and I want to touch on that a little bit, but it also takes a big amount of volume, right? So what did you do to bring in that kind of volume?
Okay, so I honestly started following leaders. You just gotta tap into the company, because like there's advice and tips and all the material out there. It's just you have to look for it. You know, you can't just be like, oh, I'm just gonna wait for somebody to tell me and wait for somebody to just give me all the information. You have to do it yourself, you know, because something might work for somebody else and it won't work for you. Like, that's just how life is. We're all individuals, and I always embrace that. Like, I always let my team know, like, hey, I will give you tips, but you have to like find what works best for you. Okay. So what I did was just like one of the top leaders that I absolutely love, and I hope maybe somebody like loves her just as much as me, but it's Carrie Young. Like, I started following Carrie Young in December of 2018, like the very beginning, and she just really related to like me and my spiritual life and beliefs and stuff like that. And then I just started following different leaders and like going on to more like Show Me the Money calls, or just, you know, YouTube videos of Jade Hooper. So it's really just utilizing everything that the company gives you, because they give you blueprints. Okay. Everybody knows that in your eSuite account, we have blueprints, and it's just like, they tell you what you need to accomplish to reach this goal. And it's now just, you know, doing homework. It's kind of like doing homework, you know, like you have to know what the products are. You know, upselling is good too. Like, you know, letting people know, like, you know, getting to know your customers, you know, that too. Like, you know, being a product, I'm trying to like go over so many like tips in my head, but being a product of your product, you know, doing your homework with the company, looking up to other leaders who are giving tips, like, that was huge. And then honestly, staying consistent. Like, even if I had a really bad day, like, I was still going to be like, okay, I'm not going to let this bad day stop me from messaging, you know? So I was staying up and I was doing extra work, and I was posting like a variety of products. Okay. I feel like that helps me, like posting a variety of products every day and letting people know, like, hey, it's not just body wraps. Hey, it's not just keto coffee. Like, we have so much more, and that, you know, relates to so many different people. And then just growing your market. So, you know, it's just a circle of just adding new people, reaching out to new people. Because honestly, if like, I know a lot of people have like nerves of reaching out to people, which I do too, you know, like I still get that way. But I'm just like, if Crystal, my mentor, if she never, you know, reached out to me, then I wouldn't be here right now. You know, like I would not be doing this business if someone didn't reach out to me. So that's like really huge. It's just doing your homework, you know, keeping up with the business, staying consistent, like discipline. Like if you're having a bad day, like, you know, be like, I don't, you know, like the work doesn't care, you know, like we all have bad days. You just have to get through it and just like stay consistent. So I think that's really what changed my business, is posting every single day, even if I didn't feel like it. Like I just made sure I filled up my, you know, stories with products, and I was at least messages every single day. Just, you know, but just, you know, staying consistent with my business. And then personal development is huge, because I know, like I said, I don't know who that is. I hope y'all can. But does that cover it? I hope I didn't leave anything out.
Yes, for sure. Let me make sure everybody's muted real quick. Not sure. Okay, I think we're good now. Okay, definitely. I love what you said about being resourceful. There's so much like information right at our fingertips, and I feel like a lot of people are just waiting when they start to have all this information dumped in their lap. But so much of this business is being, you know, being willing to get out there and look for the material too. So looking on your website, looking at those product info sheets, going into your document library, reading the compensation plan. And then what you said about upselling is so important, because I know that that was really big at the end of the month. Was, you know, if somebody's getting started with hair, skin, and nails, don't be afraid to ask them, oh, we also have collagen. It's really great for your skin too. Or you're going to unlock a discount to my entire website. Like, would you like to look it over first? Like those simple questions, you never know what somebody's willing to buy. It's just they don't know what we have. So don't be scared to just say, you know, you're trying to lose weight. I have this, not just one product. Don't be scared to kind of like show them everything we have, because you'll be surprised how many people are ready to start with something to change their life and their health, and they're ready to go. So you had such a huge amount of volume come in. I think it was, I want to say you needed about 2,000, right? About 2,000 the 25th. So that means between the 25th and the 28th, you pulled in 2,000 in volume. Of course, you and your team, which rocked it the whole month long. And it was amazing. So what are you doing as a leader to get your team feeling that fire and kind of enrolling as well? Because I know sometimes people have a hard time bridging that gap between enrollments and those people enrolling.
I would say is I try to I try to ask my team like what their goals are, because like I said, I try to embrace individuality, because that's just what makes us who we are. And I'm just like, okay, like I have my own goals in my family and in my life. Like, what are your goals? So I always ask my team like what their goals are. So when I try to do weekly progress updates. Sometimes I might slack on that, but I try to keep up with my team as much as possible. But I just want to make sure, like, hey, you know, a week went by. Did you get closer to the goals that you set? And whenever I read back their goals, it's not like I'm telling them, like, hey, you know, like, did you do this so you could get like 4 loyal customers for a shopping spree? No, it's kind of like, they give me my goal, like they give me their goals, and then I'm just, you know, I'm reading them back to them. So it's their writing, it's their, you know, it's them, you know, so it's not like I'm making up anything, and it's not like I wrote their own script. It's literally like, hey, you told me you wanted to do this and you wanted to accomplish this so you can get to this certain spot. Why aren't you doing it? You know? And then I have all of my team in a chat, and I try to always, actually, I do this every single day. I give them at least a post to like post on their Facebook or Instagram. And then I also give them like stuff to fill up their story. So they literally don't have an excuse of why they're not posting about their business, you know? And then we also do have our team chats, like our private team pages, that I'm like, okay, if you're asking me all these questions, why don't you check out the, you know, group chats? Like there's, like, I'm letting them know, like, hey, like, you have all this material. I'm giving you literally no excuses, because I'm actually taking my time out to give you something. So why aren't you working? You know, so I think that's really what's helped me explode, is that I'm giving them no excuses. Like, I'm like, hey, this is what you said you wanted to accomplish. This isn't my family. Like, I'm trying to help your family, and this is what's going to help your family. So why aren't you working towards them? You know, it's a little tough love. At the same time, I'm trying to be extremely helpful at the same time. Mm-hmm. I hope that.
Yeah, and I love that. Like, I love that leadership. So I was like trying to unmute. I love that leadership because so many people, they sugarcoat this business. And let's be honest, you're just gonna post a couple times on social media and you're gonna make $1,000. But let's be real, guys. Like, you need to work to make money in this business. And I like that we've kind of shifted our leadership in a way that says, you know, I'm gonna give you what you need, but you also need to know that you can find it yourself as well. Like, we want to empower you to work your business and grow your business confidently. So when you have a team of your own, you know what to do. So we're definitely encouraging more of a learn as you go kind of deal rather than let's sit here and read file after file after file and then you can go. We're wanting you to kind of get going and we're going to cheer you on the whole way and kind of point you in the right direction. So I love that leadership for sure.
And like just to add in, I always try to send them like a video of myself too, because I'm typically extremely peppy, even though like, you know, live, but I try to be as peppy as possible and let them see me like face to face, or at least by like a voice recording, just so they know like, hey, like, you know, what are you doing? Like, I'm staying up too. Like, why aren't you staying up when you said you have these goals? Like, sometimes I'll even say like, hey, you need to sacrifice something, like the TV show that you're watching, like you're paying for the internet for that's putting you into more debt. Like, why don't you stop watching that TV show and start doing some more work? You know, like, hey, I saw you at a party. Did you sign someone? No, like, it is tough love. It's just like, I got to the point where I used to be the leader that was like, oh, you didn't do that, it's okay. But that got me nowhere, you know, because that's not okay, because these people join my team and they're wanting help, but if I'm just too nice, it's like, oh, it's okay, you know, do it tomorrow. Like, no, like, you could have gotten a step closer today if you just sacrificed going out. Like, I tell my team what I sacrifice. Like, I stay up late. Sometimes I don't go out with my family, like my sons or my husbands, to something, because I know that what I'm doing now is going to benefit us in like the next month, you know. So I do let them know real life, you know, because like your job, like if you don't go to your job every day, then they're going to fire you. Like, it's just point blank. So yeah.
Yes, tough love goes a really, really long way. And it's you helping them. It's not like you're like, do this for me. It's like, you said you wanted this. Like, do you really want this? And I love that. So I guess I have one more question. That Taylor has a question for you. And then we can switch over and interview Teresa and Emma because we have 40 minutes. So we're about halfway through right now. So my question is, what is your biggest tip to somebody who's been in the business for a while that is shooting for diamond? They want to make this happen now, no matter how long they've been in the business.
My biggest tip is just remembering why you're doing it. Like, you have to, like, if you, like, of course your why changes as you grow, but like, why are you working? Like, why are you posting? Why are you doing this? There's something in the back of your mind that you're going to get closer to your goal. Like, you have to always remember why, and even post it, like put it on, like the reason why I hit diamond is because I had it on my screensaver of like diamond and what I wanted to be. And every time I open my phone, it was a reminder, you know, because like I said, daily life, like I get that, you know, daily life distracts you sometimes, but you have to be disciplined, like discipline. You have to stay consistent. And even on your worst days, like stay consistent, because it's going to pay off. There's someone watching you. And like, oh yeah, here's a little tip I might get off, but like, think about it. Like, you could be working so hard on some potentials, and just because you were tired and didn't want to send out a couple messages, or if you didn't want to take a couple seconds, it takes seconds, y'all, to add something to your story, that potential could like be taken by another distributor who decided, hey, I'm working hard for this promotion, I'm not going to take days off, you know. So it's just always remembering why, staying consistent, and just pushing and being disciplined. Like, I feel like that's what got me to diamond, like, honestly.
Yes, definitely a ton of discipline. This business takes discipline. If you really want to grow and you want to see amazing results, you have to discipline yourself and know that it's for a greater good. So every day you take off, it takes that much longer to get to where you're going. So just stay consistent, stay focused. You've been such a perfect example of that as a leader and all throughout your business. Okay, Taylor, do you want to ask your questions real quick? Switch over.
I just wanted to comment on, you know, just the fact of it's like, it inspires me because I know you've been in the business for a little bit, and I just kind of wanted to touch base on, what kept you going. I feel like a lot of people see the success, and when they see people have it so quickly, it's so easy to stick to it because it's such a quick turnaround. So just sort of having a tip or something to say on just sort of the dedication that you have put into this business, even though it didn't happen so fast for you.
Yeah, I actually love this question. I'm just one to like never give up. Like I joined the business and I was like, I'm gonna get there. Like I don't care how long it might take me. Like I knew I would get to diamond at some point. Like even though, and like I'm kind of glad it took me a little bit. Like, I know that might sound weird, but I'm kind of glad it took me because it built my strength. It built my, mentality. It built my self-worth because that was a huge thing that I like struggled with is self-worth, and it was just knowing that like, hey, if I keep going, I'm going to get there one day. Like, I'm not going to be a quitter. Like, I quit so many things in my life. Like, I quit tons of jobs. I'm a college dropout, like I never went to school. Like I was done quitting. Like I was done, seeing so many people accomplish something and I just wanted something of my own. So I was going to stick with it no matter how long it took just because I've seen success stories like that, so I was just never ever going to quit. And I think that's what just kept me so disciplined. Even if it did take longer than most people, like I did it and I'm here and now it's just like crazy. Like I'm running with it now. If that
I love that so much. Congratulations again.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes, we're also proud of you. $10,000. How does it feel?
I know.
Does it feel amazing?
Yes. Oh my gosh.
There we go. Okay. All right. So now it's time to interview your newest rubies, your promoting ladies. And you could just take it away.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So I have two new rubies that I'm so excited, and I want to just ask them like a few questions on how they got to Ruby and their backstory. So I would since I know Emma is picking up her daughter right now, I would like to put Teresa on the spot right now. She is our newest Ruby. And Teresa, I just want to touch base on like why you joined, like what got you to join, what were your goals, and how you got to Ruby. So go Teresa, it's your turn to
start. Well, I was following you for about a year and I was like, should I or shouldn't I? And I was iffy. Finally, I saw one day they had the $20 bonus. So I was like, okay, I'm going to join. But I joined because I am a single mom. I have 4 kids and I have 2 jobs. So I was watching you and watching how like you get extra income and stuff. So I joined to eliminate one of my jobs, and which I did. I stopped working in February, so I only have my preschool. I'm a preschool teacher, so I just have that job now and this job. And I joined because, to give me more time at home because my other job was working nights, so I wasn't here all the time. My oldest daughter, she would help me a lot. She would help me with my little ones, but just to pay bills, not have to stress, all that stuff.
Okay, so I do want to touch base because I feel like there's a lot of people in this company that are just like, I just don't have the time. They always use that excuse that they don't have time. But you are a single mom of 4 kids. Like, I feel like I don't have time sometimes, and I only have 2 toddlers. So can you tell us a little bit, like, I guess a little tip on how you like work your business into your already busy schedule, which by the way, congratulations for being able to quit one of your 2 jobs. Like that is amazing.
Thank you. I know.
But yeah, just give us some tips on how you work your business. Like how do you put it into your already busy schedule with 4 kids?
in the morning, get up a little bit early. I check my messages, or I'll send out messages between my breaks. I'll post stories. Between my lunch, I'll answer some more messages, come home. In between making dinner, same thing. While my boys are doing their homework, I'll sit down and, message and answer questions and post. I actually I stopped working in February because of the fact that it gave me that more of a motivation to, like, you have to hurry up and rank up, or you're going to have to promote because you quit. So there's no way I couldn't, like, look back. So I think that helped me too. That gave me more motivation to keep going and don't give up. I would stay up in the night when everybody was asleep and just send out messages, add new people, delete new people, add new people, delete people. It's just, that was my main thing, is when I stopped working my second job, it just made me work 2 times harder because I knew I wasn't getting that income anymore. So I needed to hurry up and move up.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's freaking awesome. Like, you're inspiration to me, just so you know. And then also, anybody for, like, if you could give, like, one tip to people who are shooting for Ruby this month, what would it be?
Just stay consistent. Like you said, follow-ups, those are really important. I didn't used to. I would be like, oh, okay. I would just kind of shy with it, just let them go. But you don't know, like, half of my last customers that I signed were all follow-ups from a long time ago. So follow-ups are really, like, you need to write them down. I started taking notes on everything. I took notes on daily tips that you would give us, and then I started following whatever Krista would say, and Taylor. I followed her every morning. I'd watch her, listen to what she said, wrote everything down. Just started taking notes on everything so I can just refer back to that. It's a lot easier for me that way, because if somebody was asking me a question, I just go look instead of, like, scrolling through my phone, or, that's, to me, that helped me a lot, taking notes. Just putting you would put a lot of polls, just to have people, like, interact with you, or at least, if they're just voting, sometimes they'll say, oh no, I'm just voting, at least you're building a conversation with them, you're getting to know them a little bit more, so later on they might be a potential.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, thank you, Teresa. And I did want to touch base on what you said about following up. That is huge. Like, that was a game changer for me too, because, like, you never know a person's situation, and I, like, have to think about that. Like, when I joined, I didn't have the money at the time, so I did push it back so many times just because I didn't have the money, or some people get distracted, or, anything could be going on. So following up is huge. But thank you, Teresa, and congratulations on your new Ruby promotion. But I did want to interview Emma. She's our second newest Ruby from March. Emma, if it's a good time, would you just give us your backstory on why you joined and what's kept you, like, in the business and stay consistent?
Hi, can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Okay, because there's a lot of wind over here. Well, I started this business like around July of last year, actually like a week after my daughter's birthday, because I think last year we didn't really do like a big celebration for her, and like that hit me. But mainly it was when I started with you, it was because of my weight. But like that was a little part of it too, because I used to see your stories and like how you changed your life, and it was just like all inspiring. So I was like, I need to follow her. I need to see what she's doing, because before this business, I was in Amway, so I knew it was something like this, and I was like, this is real. I'm like, I know it is. I'm like, there's a lot of big things going on in this world, that there's so many different things, you know. So I started because I was at my heaviest weight. I was at 225, I believe. And I was like, whoa, I need to like calm down because I wasn't feeling good. I was like losing, like I was just all bad, like heartburn and everything. But I started because of that. It was while I was working at a warehouse. I was doing 12 plus hours, like me and my man, and we couldn't really have anybody to watch our daughter. So I kind of stopped working at the warehouse because I saw an opportunity here. So it started with my health. Sorry guys, I'm trying to catch my breath. I just got here. And here's my sister. She's with us too. But I started with my health. It wasn't so good, and it was while I was working at the warehouse. But we were having issues with who was gonna pick up our daughter and who was gonna take care of her. It was just everything just started to go downhill. And I was like, you know what? There's an opportunity here. I gotta take it because I'm done. I'm done being where I'm at. Me and my sister, we want to break our family cycle, you know. And well, we saw an opportunity and we just took it. And ever since then, our products helped me lose 40 pounds. And I was so happy because I'm not a poster. Marissa knows. I never really used to post and like do all that stuff. But she motivated me. She pushed me to get comfortable, to be uncomfortable. And she's like, you gotta post your stuff out there. It's insane. Like, you know, if you really want to go ahead in this business, like show your real self. And I was like, I gotta do that. I was like, I'm gonna start doing that. And, that's what got me like most of my potential, like my transformation. Most of them because I thought I wasn't gonna hit Ruby. I was like, I'm not gonna make it, and I was just being so down on myself. And here you guys come with your motivational post. I always see Taylor always pushing us at the end of the month, and I'm just like, I gotta keep going. I'm like, I want to grow with these girls. They're amazing, and I'm like, we all have so much potential. So I'm learning along the way with you guys, but it's so exciting. Here's my baby.
And I did want to mention that you went to your first conference in February, and you had so much going on that I wasn't even sure if you're gonna make it. Like, Emma took out a loan, y'all. She was so committed. She took out a loan to get to conference. Can you like just tell us a little bit more about what conference did for you and just like how the journey has been since going to your first conference?
Wow. Well, even talking about this is like, it's crazy. But there was so much going on in my life. I'm sorry, guys. I'm like crying. I'm all emotional now. But it's exciting stuff. Like, there was so many things going on in my life. I don't know if Marissa ever told you guys. My husband. Well, he's my fiance. We've been together forever, but he took a huge pay cut from his job. We moved in with my sister. Like, a bunch of things happened. His car got stolen. You know, all those things just pile up. And I was like, oh my God, it was already when I was in this business. And I was like, I don't know if I can go to conference. I'm like, I want to go so bad because I have bought the ticket. Like, I bought the ticket way before all this thing started to happen. And I was like, I don't know. I have the ticket, but I don't know if I can go. And like, my husband was just there. He was just motivating me. And he's like, you gotta go. Like, you gotta. And even my sister, she's like, I see a difference in this business and in you. Like, you gotta go. You gotta figure it out. And then Marissa too, she came and popped up and she's like, Emma, this is like a sacrifice. If this is something you want to do, you gotta sacrifice a lot of things. let me help you figure out how to get your money. You know, she was showing me how to get like how to sell the samples and stuff. So that helped. But I was at the end, maybe like a couple days, I would say, or a week or so before the conference came up, and I still didn't have it. But I was like, you know what, I'm gonna take out that loan because something I saw a post about how many people make sacrifices in this business, and they don't push through with it. But I was like, then there's some that do. Like there's some that sacrifice everything they have, and they just go for it and they get there. And I was like, well, I don't have anything else to give, so I'm like, I'm just gonna give it whatever I have, and I'm gonna push through and go to conference. So I decided to take out the loan, and I was like, it's a sacrifice. It may be something that we have to pay, but it's an investment. Like, and I don't regret that investment because I had the most amazing time at conference. It motivated me and pushed me through and made me realize more of what potential we have in this business. And I don't know, it was just, I'm like more of an emotional person, so I think that's what pushed me to keep going. And it just made me realize, like, I don't want to be stuck where I'm at now ever. Like, I'm done. I want new things for our families, and I'm just seeing all your guys' stories basically motivated me, and I challenge myself a lot more because of Marissa. She pushes us a lot. Like, there's one time that I just wanted to be like, oh, I don't know if I can do it. I'm like, I don't know. And she's always there. She's like, here it is. The little things that she says that we write down, like our goals, she gives them to us. And she's like, here's what you said you wanted. Like, do you still want it? And I'm like, yes. And like, it's just all the motivation. And like she said, it's the reason why we do it, and it's the reason why that will get us there. Like, everything else falls into place. Like, everything else is figured out along the way. So I mean, that's what I've been doing. I mean, that's how I got there.
Thank you. Yeah, I don't mean to cut you short, but I know that the Zoom is about to end. But I did want to say congratulations to both Teresa and Emma for being our new Ruby leaders.
Congratulations.
And I just can't wait. Yeah, I just can't wait to see where y'all go from here. Thank you for getting on.
Congratulations, everybody, our future double diamonds and emeralds. I'm so excited. I definitely don't want to cut you off. This is so fun. I love hearing from you guys. So much inspiration. I hope this month is even better. It's going to be even more fire. So I am so happy for you guys. And
Bye.